My name is Kelly MacDonald. I may have been born with low vision, but did that stop me from living the life I wanted? No way! It barely slowed me down. Today, I'm a broadcaster, actor, sports fan, and all-around great guy. I'm also the host of my very own show, this show. I've made a bucket list of things I want to experience, people I want to meet, and places I want to see. So join me on my travels and take a look at things from my point of view. This is Blindsided with Kelly MacDonald. Welcome to another episode of Blindsided with Kelly MacDonald, where we specialize in dark comedy. Today in the show, I make some noise at a professional Foley studio. I climb atop my soapbox to tackle the thorny issue of bandwagon sports fans, and we give another Selfie challenge shout-out to a viewer with a vertigo-inducing achievement. But first, perhaps the best thing about suffering through long winters in this country is that when spring finally comes around, Canadians embrace it like no other. That enthusiasm is on full display at Canada Blooms. And today, I put down roots at the indoor gardening show, testing my green thumb on a variety of gardening activities. Could this be a budding career change? Let's find out. Let's go day tripping. I'm at Canada Blooms, Canada's largest garden and flower show, here at Toronto's exhibition place. To find out, do I have green thumb power? Well, today, they're gonna put more than my thumbs to work. I'm with Dennis Flanagan, representative of Canada Blooms. Dennis, where are we?
Kelly, we are in paradise, actually. We are in a building that houses over 30 wonderful feature gardens, beautiful international floral displays. The first garden that people see when they come into Canada Blooms is the entrance garden, a bed of beautiful, colorful flowers, which is the flower of the year for Canada Blooms, called Gerbera daisy. And you can feel this, Kelly. I'm going to give it to you. This particular one is called Smile.
The actual stem, to me, by texture, feels a bit like felt. And, of course, a nice big top to it that's wide open, reaching for the skies. What are we doing today, Dennis?
Then if you don't mind, I'd like to put you at work.
Okay.
You think you're going to get a free ride? No.
I know there had to be an exchange for this great tour.
So here we are in the Landscape Ontario garden, and a large component of it is about grass or sod.
What's so important about sod?
It's wonderful for wildlife.
Right, yeah.
It attracts wildlife to a garden. And most importantly, in cities, it cools down cities.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Right in front of you is a little bit of unfinished sod. It comes in rolls, and so what we got to do is roll that out. That's a great job, rolling it out.
There we are.
There you go. So what I want you to do is dance on it now.
So what?
Dance on it.
Dance on it?
Yeah, stomp on it.
My Fred Astaire?
Go, man.
All right, you say so. I'm usually told, get off the grass.
Go.
All right, wiggle, 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 bum, bum, bum. Wiggle, 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 bum, bum, bum.
Beautiful. I've got to go and do a presentation. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Jennifer, and you're going to make a beautiful flower arrangement.
Sounds great to me. I'm with Jennifer Harvey, and I've just come from getting my hands absolutely filthy.
Oh, gosh.
Rolling out sod.
Yeah.
What do you have in store for me? Hopefully not something so dirty.
This is a little more civilized. We're gonna do a handheld bouquet. I picked out some really interesting textures for you today.
What do we got?
We're gonna start with hydrangeas, so if you wanna feel these.
Oh, they're bushy.
Yeah, they're like a mop top. We're gonna do some stalks. They smell beautiful. They're spring flower, really intoxicating.
Sort of like cinnamon.
And here's a rose, an orange rose.
One single rose.
Yes, and then I got you, these are called kermits. They're in the daisy family.
Hi-ho.
And they're very, very green. They're beautiful. And then these are gerberas. These are like a circle, flat.
I know these.
Intense color.
Have one in my fedora.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
And that's the show flower this year. And I also have a tulip. Yeah, I'm sure you...
That's very leafy, the
yes.
tulips.
And it's a succulent. It's got a lot of water in it, so it feels rubbery.
Always, yeah.
And after you cut a tulip, actually, it still grows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe we'll just pull something together, maybe like a cooking show.
Ah, I like that.
Maybe bring this out.
Oh, look at our magic work. Wow. So
There you go.
this bouquet has...
It has the hydrangea I just showed you.
Check.
The roses.
Check.
Here's 3 roses here.
Uh-huh.
Gerberas. And I actually folded some banana leaves. They're called aspidistra leaves, and it just colors the whole thing.
I think that's wicked for you.
Oh, thank you.
Your work
what a
is...
gentleman. Thank
That's
you.
a great lesson, thank you.
No problem.
Next up, a stop at the edible garden.
Hey, Kelly, it looks like you found a perfect place to sit. Welcome to our edible garden.
I have, Paul. It's a wonderful, relaxing spot.
Well, I'm the director of horticulture for the Toronto Botanical Garden. I'm passionate about gardening. And in front of us here, we have a wonderful arrangement of mixed herbs. We've got some wonderful basil. Doesn't that smell incredible?
Oh, it smells sweet.
We also in here, Kelly, have got rosemary, we've got parsley, and we've got some mint. And to me, just a nice, wonderful fresh leaf of basil is a real treat. Would you like to try one?
I would.
Here you go.
Wonderful taste.
Just a little bit of oil and some fresh bread, and we're all set.
You betcha.
There's also flowers, edible flowers that you can eat in the garden as well.
Now, can you eat pretty well most flowers?
No, you should not eat flowers unless you're absolutely sure that they are edible, and there's all sorts of lists out there. I also recommend not eating flowers unless you've actually grown them yourself.
Okay.
And in our planters, we've got things like violas or pansies, just flowering, beautiful purple and orange. Would you like to try one?
I would love it.
And I'll give the petals right there to you.
Awesome, thank you. They're small and very light. A lighter taste, almost peanut-like.
Kind of nice with salads as well. Now, violas are very important because the bees also like them. So we like to incorporate plants that the bees and pollinators like in the garden. Would you like to taste the magic of the bees? That is the honey that they produce.
Bet.
Well, Kelly, we were in the garden, but now I welcome you to our botanical bar.
Awesome, I love it.
And we're going to sample, as I promised, local honey. The first I'm going to give you is actually from the Toronto Botanical Garden. It's a wonderful, clear honey. I'll hand you a sample here and tell me what you think.
A nice light, but definitely honey tasting sweet.
Now,
Yes.
do you like blueberries?
I love blueberries.
Okay, so the next one we're going to taste is a blueberry honey. And this case is where the beehives are actually taken into a blueberry field while they're flowering, and the bees forage on the blueberries, and then that honey is collected.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, you can taste them. You really can.
Isn't it delicious?
It's great. Full of sweet honey goodness, I head back to Dennis, where he has one more task for me.
Okay, Kelly, so this is behind the scenes, our staging area at Canada Blooms, where we keep back some plants in case we need them during the show. So the challenge for you today is we do need a container out on the celebrity stage, and I'm going to get you to plant it. If you feel that lovely Dracaena, you see how it sort of feels upright like that?
Stands up above.
Yeah, you want to tip that upside down and pop it outside the... Pop it out the plants.
Will it come out easy?
Oh, you've done this before. Look at
Will
you,
it come
man.
out
You're an
easy?
expert. Yeah,
Do I bring the soil with me?
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Just press that in.
Okay, I'll move that soil around.
The Gerber daisies.
It's a hard one to get the hand right in there. I'll pull that out.
Excellent. This is a little ivy, a trailing ivy. You can feel it trailing, right?
Yes, all hangs right out.
That's right. Squeeze that in there, my friend. Spin that planter around.
You
with
said
me.
that's going to be the front.
That's going to be the front. So
right,
when we spin it around like that, that's how we're going to put
Facing
it
out
on
now,
the
away
stage.
from me.
This container deserves to be on the celebrity stage, and that's where we're going to take it.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, my friend, there it is. In a place of honor, your wonderful container.
Great.
It's been a long day at Canada Blooms. Have you learned anything?
I have. You guys have showed me so many neat things, taken some time, and it's always fun to learn from some experts. Thanks, Dennis. And now for Joking Aside with the Out of Sight players.
Can I help you?
Yes, you can, ma'am. I represent Ozma Pod Solutions, and I'm here today to show you our amazing new product. This product represents years of research by Ozma Pod's dedicated scientists, and you, ma'am, are the first person in the country with the opportunity to own one. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Well, no, I can't. I'm blind.
Blind to the potential this device has to alter the way you live your life? Just watch it in action.
Can't you just tell me what it does?
Of course I can, but why don't I show you?
Because I can't see it. What's it called?
It's the Ozma Pod's Oscillizer.
Oh, it's the Oscillizer. I bought one last week. Now, what the heck does this thing do?
I have no clue what this thing does.
Still ahead, hearing is believing. I head to a professional Foley studio and learn how to create the sounds of my own murder. Stick around. Welcome back to Blindsided with Kelly McDonald. It's time again to scour the newspapers for this week's Inside Scoop. This is your Inside Scoop. A University of London research team has discovered that fatter penguins are unsteadier on their feet than thinner penguins, but that the extra weight aids them when it comes to the long winter fast. Researchers fasted the king penguins over 14 days, occasionally putting them on treadmills to test their ability to walk at different weights. When asked why they chose to use treadmills to test the penguins, the researchers replied, "They're no good on bikes." A new study published in Australia's Mammal Review claims that the continent's ugly mammals attract far less research than their more cuddly cousins. These ugly animals apparently make up 45% of mammal species in Australia, but rarely attract study. This lack of understanding could be dangerous to the survival of native ugly species, like the carnivorous ghost bat, the giant white-tailed rat, or the just rolled out of bed, "Oh, don't look at me," mouse. A beloved blind gym teacher was fired from his position that he held at a Harlem public school for 29 years when a parent claimed to smell alcohol on his breath. The teacher who argued that the smell was simply original Listerine, which is a little fishy because, come on, there's so many flavors. Who uses original Listerine? That's your inside scoop for this week. Sound design is an integral part of any motion picture. But for blind viewers, it's even more important. When I watch movies, the sound effects tell the story. Is it raining? Is the wind howling? Are those creaky footsteps coming towards our protagonist? Every little sound helps create a picture in my mind as to what's going on up on the screen. However, how those sounds are created is a fascinating story itself. Today, I get a chance to go behind the scenes at a professional Foley studio and create the sounds for my very own short film. Let's check it out. Let's check something off my bucket list. Here I am at Urban Post Production, ready to find out what Foley is. And to help me is Foley artist Mary Lee Orston.
Hey, Kelly, how's it going?
Oh, I'm excited to learn about Foley.
Cool. Well, let's go up to my office and check it out.
All right. Where does the name Foley come from, Mary Lee?
It comes from a guy who's named Jack Foley, and he existed early on in film when they started making talkies. So when they started adding sound to film, he ended up doing this for a lot of movies in his lifetime. And then people trained under him and carried on the art of Foley.
So it's enhancing the sounds on screen. So this is your office, but it's not an average office.
That's right. It is a place for making a lot of sounds. So what we have in this room is pretty much every item you might come across in your day-to-day life. So things that show up in television and movies. It's a more expedient way of getting those sounds to the movie.
So I brought some clips in.
Okay.
Can we lay down some tracks of them and make some sounds?
We totally can.
Awesome. We start by watching a clip of a search and rescue drill from my day as a firefighter.
Okay, so what I'm noticing, Kelly, is there's some smoke. Mm-hmm. That means there's a fire.
Indeed.
And I'm noticing some firefighters coming into the house.
That's me crawling into a smoky room.
I think we could definitely do this.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. I get down on my hands and knees, ready to recreate the scene.
All right, so let's roll picture.
You tell me when to begin.
Okay. And here we go. Let's get some crawling.
Mary Lee records the sounds of my crawling.
Okay. Let's get some gear. Here's a purse.
Next, we recreate the sounds of firefighting gear.
We've got a bit of a duffel bag, so why don't you grab onto that?
Okay.
And I'll do the sound of the coat.
Sound like a body moving.
So it's a body
in the
moving.
air.
Wearing all this gear, crawling through a fire.
And of course, we have to recreate the sounds of fire.
So I'm gonna give you some crackly paper. And I've got some bubble wrap here. And we're just gonna squeeze this and create some snapping and popping of the fire. Well, I think we've got all our sounds. Do you wanna play it back and see what we got?
Oh, you bet. Now, it's time to hear the finished product.
Okay, feeling around some? Through the doorway? Hello? Hey, someone here. There's someone here.
Grab the victim.
Okay.
We're going to go out the same way that we came in.
Ease him on. Got an arm under. All right. Following the bed. We're out of here.
Great.
I think that's great. You can really hear your pops.
Yeah, I could totally believe that there was a fire in there.
So do we have time to do one more?
We do. Okay, Kelly, I'm noticing some leaves. You're walking on the sidewalk.
Right.
Oh, and you encounter a guy.
My assailant.
He's breaking your arm.
Yep, a good clean break.
He's punching you in the face.
A few times. Yeah.
And then he pulls out a knife.
A large butcher knife.
Stabs you.
Murders me.
horrible.
Right
Drops
there
the
on the
knife,
scene.
runs away.
We can work with that?
Oh, totally. There's some punches.
Right.
The best way to do that is just to punch our own hand. Let's put a punch in.
I give my own hand a good punch.
Nice. There's someone wearing a jacket, and I've got a jacket right here.
Okay.
And what we can do is I'll give that to you. This guy comes up and grabs someone, so you want to get a big, like, beefy grab.
So I'll just grab the jacket? That's easy.
Something else that happens is your arm gets broken. This guy's brutal. So I'm gonna give you some celery. So here we go.
Oh, celery. My least favorite snack.
This is not for snacking. This is for bones breaking.
Ah.
So what I'm gonna get you to do is grab a couple pieces and break them off so that you can easily maneuver them. What you wanna do is get a nice big break.
Right. So as if I'm gonna snap it like a twig.
That's right.
Okay.
Roll picture and action.
That does sound like bones breaking.
Ooh. I'm gonna give you a knife. We'll be really careful.
Okay.
Here it is.
All right.
Okay. And I'm gonna give you another thing to put in your other hand.
What's
Okay.
this?
This is another piece of metal. It's a spatula. And this just helps us get a sound that's a little bit cinematic. We just want the audience to know that this is a knife coming out and we're getting ready for some action.
Okay.
And action. Amazing. Oh, there is a stabbing. So what I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna surprise you if you hold out your hands.
Oh, wet, drippy cloth.
Yeah. We're gonna get the sound of kind of the stabbing sound
Right.
as the knife goes in.
And the squirting blood.
That's right, and some blood dripping. Just sort of punch that cloth and action. Oh, perfect. So much blood dripping
So all that's left is to get the sounds of the knife dropping.
and action. That was great.
I like it.
Well, now we're ready to put all these sounds together, layer them over top of each other.
And now for the end result. Oh! Ah! Ah! Oh! Ah! Ah! Wow, what a difference the Foley makes. Oh, that was awesome. We did a good job.
We did. Do you want to cross being a Foley artist off your bucket list?
I want to say no because I'd like to hang around here and do it some more, but definitely. Thanks a lot, Mary. That
You
was
are welcome.
awesome.
It was my pleasure.
Still ahead on the show, I have some conflicting thoughts on bandwagon jumpers. And we hit the streets to let you ask a blind guy. We're back after this. Welcome back to Blindsided with Kelly McDonald. Time to climb onto my soapbox. I'm a self-professed sports fan. I love to listen to live sports. Radio gives me the description I need to put me in the game. But I can follow TV thanks to audio cues, even when the announcers digress from the action of the game. So when a sports team goes on a playoff run, everyone gets caught up in it. And I like that. Never mind that I endured years of supporting losing teams. Who cares? We real fans should be happy for the hype. Being blind, I could never pick up a paper and read the sports section and mull it over with a buddy. But with sports pages accessible online and sports shows and podcasts, I am the complete sports fan. I get to blab on about the team for once without being told to shut up. Or have my fair weather fan friends ask me, why do you cheer for those losers? The energy created by a winner is contagious and joyous. It almost makes all the years of suffering worth it. Well, almost. That's just the way I see it. Score! Bucket and bucket. In this episode of It's a Service Dog's Life, service dog Olivia and her friend Bailey wait with their owners in front of a pet store.
It's so weird how Olivia and Bailey just sit there. Makes you wonder what dogs are thinking.
For the first few years, it was all Bailey sit up, Bailey speak, and now it's all Bailey lie down, Bailey be quiet. Talk about mixed signals.
Sounds like your human isn't much of a trainer.
You're telling me. Anyway, what's new with you?
My human's going on vacation next week, and we get to ride on a plane.
Wow, what's that?
You've never heard of a plane?
No.
It's like going on a car ride with hundreds of people.
Sounds awesome. I wish I was a service dog so I'd be allowed in things like planes and restaurants.
You've never been to a restaurant?
Nope.
Have you ever been to the grocery store?
Never heard of it.
What about the mall?
Is that in the backyard?
No,
then no.
Seriously, Bailey? There's so much out there to discover. Traveling really broadens your horizons. You've got to get out more.
Give me a break. I scratch at the back door all the time.
Now it's time for my new friend Jeff to ask a blind guy.
Kelly, what technological advances have helped you the most?
Wow. Jeff, I'd have to say the day I laid my hands on a computer that was accessible. That's a computer that everything on the screen gets read out to me. And back in their first days, they were ancient, but it was just such a game changer. I could read my notes. I could do projects without having to dictate stuff. It gave me so much power. So that would be it for me. It's time for the selfie challenge. Finally, let's take a look at another entry in our selfie challenge. G. Van Baines sent us a picture and a note saying that she scaled stairs, catwalks, and ladders to reach the top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia. The bridge is 134 meters tall and 1,149 meters long and takes over 2 hours to climb. Whether you're afraid of heights or not, that's an incredible achievement. Thanks for sharing your story, G-Van. We're happy you're back on solid ground. If you've pushed your limits like G-Van, give us a shout. It doesn't have to be anything as exciting as climbing a bridge. You can tell us about conquering your fear of moths. We just want to hear about it. Tweet a photo or short video to @AMIKellyMac or post it on the Accessible Media Inc. Facebook page. That brings this episode to a close, but we'll see you again next week. All my worker bees are executive producers Nat Abraham, Ira Levy, Michael McGuigan, Peter Williamson, and Chantel Jackson. Produced and directed by James Murdoch. Story producer Amy Blythe. Director of photography Swab Hoopa. Editor Matthew Walsh. DV consultant Ron Rickford. Joking Aside performed by the Out of Sight Players. Produced in association with Accessible Media Inc. Produced and distributed by Breakthrough Entertainment.
An AMI original production.